This. Good evening, everyone. Thanks so much for joining us here for another Saturday night on Raising Vibration Radio and Journey into Consciousness. I'm one of your hosts, Reverend Raven, and I'm going to say hi to our other host, Tammy Lucente.
Good
Hi,
evening,
Tammy.
everyone. Hi, everyone.
And I want to introduce our special guest tonight, Barb Destiny Berger, who's an author, Reiki. Are you a Reiki master?
Not a master, a practitioner.
A Reiki practitioner and an intuitive artist. So we are so blessed to have her on the show tonight. And I just want to dive right into the show. Barb, what is the one thing that you would like to express to people first off the bat that we get started here?
Well, first of all, I want to connect with everybody. Hello. And it's so great being here. Thank you, Reverend Raven and Tammy. Really, I want to share my journey of writing this book and being just sort of an average person out there, not really having a solid direction, if you will, until I really started listening to Spirit and really taking the signs all around me and putting it into a form, if you will, a tactile form. And my book has propelled a lot of things coming off the book. So it's very interesting when you kind of key into the signs that are right in front of us. And that's how I started the book. So I just
Interesting.
Yeah.
So it was signs, huh?
Anyone can really have that direction guided to them if they just tune in.
Exactly. Wonderful. So what were the first signs that you started noticing? Do you remember?
Well, it was a New Year's Day, and I was going to the gym.
Okay.
Just regular day.
Typical
average,
New Year's.
Yeah, New Year's Day. And I was driving, and I really wanted to know what is going to be in this year for me. You know, I was feeling a little stuck, a little like ho-hum, everything's good, but I needed more. I had that empty feeling that I needed more, but I didn't know more of what.
Uninspired as of yet, but you wanted to be inspired.
Yes. And so I was driving and I asked the question out loud, Tammy, which I never do. I said, as I'm driving, I said, God, please bring me something this year that will inspire me, which will be new to me. Please bring it to me. And I came to the stoplight. I get goosebumps. And I'm sitting there and I look at the truck in front of me and it said, "Do it right with Mr. Right." And it was a handyman. And instantly I heard my grandmother speaking to me. She's, passed over many, many years.
I was getting ready to ask, so what was the first thing you heard or thought? Yep.
Right. Right. Do it right. But I heard my grandmother say right. WRITE with
right.
Mr. Right. Right.
I got it. Oh, excellent.
And I'm like, wow, Graham. She was a writer. And she was telling me to write. And I went home that day and started my book. And it's called Cracked Wide Open.
Yep.
Yep. And so I got home and I was so excited. I was thinking all about it on the treadmill at the gym. And I was like, wow, my grandmother's telling me to write a book. And I came home, told my husband, he's like, yeah, right. Okay. Right. Yeah, right. And I'm like, yeah, right. And
so did you continue to get more communication during the writing? Yeah.
All throughout the book.
Oh, that's wonderful.
She started sending me numbers. 7s and 4s.
And what did you intuit out of those?
Just that I was on the right track.
Mm-hmm.
And when I was questioning something, I would see a 74.
Okay.
And then my other grandmother came into play.
Oh, that's awesome.
And she started sending me 4-7.
Okay.
So I had my writer grandmother,
Mm-hmm.
74, and my other grandmother, who was my cheerleader, 47.
Oh, wow.
So I kept seeing these numbers. So I incorporated them into the book also.
Also, yeah.
Yeah. But and it's interesting. I don't see them as much anymore.
Mm-hmm.
But
do you see, I'm just curious, do you see different patterns with other numbers now?
Not so strong.
Not so strong? Okay.
Not so strong. Yeah. But when I see the 7s and 4s, I know they're there.
They're there, yeah.
Yeah.
Excellent.
Yeah.
So you went upon the journey of writing this book. So introduce us to the book, Barb. Tell us about the book. Cracked Wide Open.
Cracked Wide Open. So it's 1 year in a middle-aged woman's life, which her heart is literally cracked wide open. It's fiction. It's fiction. Yeah, right. It's fiction.
Yeah, I don't think it's fiction. I think it's about you, but whatever.
Well, it's a crossover. It's a crossover. But this is I started this book and this just came so easy out of my fingers. And I'm going to read it right now, if you don't mind.
Okay, please do.
It's just the first little intro to the book. Let's see. There it is.
Excellent.
And it says, to truly live life, your heart must be cracked open for your soul to be set free. This cannot happen by simply thinking your way through.
Amen.
And that is, so I put my character's name here, Mel D, the quote, but that was my grandmother.
Mm-hmm.
And
wow.
So basically get out of your head and just write this book. So, and so the book started sort of real, like it was really, what am I going to write about? So I kind of started writing about what just happened on the road. And so it kind of started out to be true. It was sort of me.
Yeah.
And I knew I didn't want to write something true. It's very, very cracked wide open. So I had to fictionalize it. And, but the first part's true. And the first part really says that I really have a deep desire to connect with people, with others, with spirit, with God, with everything in the universe. I needed to connect. And that was the first chapter. And then from there, it got really unusual. So I found out I'm an automatic writer.
Okay.
Which means I have to wait. I go to the grocery store. Where I write is at my grocery store because no one bothers me there. I sit in the front of the grocery store. I put headphones on with Reiki music, and I sit there for 3 hours, and I wait on my computer until it comes, and it comes through. And so it felt real natural to me, but I didn't know if it had a name. But I was talking to someone and said, it's so weird. When I write, I have to go back the next day and read what I wrote. And she goes, oh, you're an automatic writer. And I said,
yeah.
Oh, okay. Yeah. So, I didn't even know that was a thing.
So are you surprised when you go back and you read the stuff? Are you aware while you're writing it? Do you just sit and wait for it to come and then you have the full body of text and you then convey it on the screen? Or do you go back and read it and go, wow, I don't even remember writing that?
Both.
Okay.
Yeah. So sometimes I'm like, how did I even know that?
Okay. Yeah.
It's a very interesting way, but it's sort of hard too, because I need a lot of hours to get into that meditative state. It's a deep meditative state before anything comes. And I can't think. So it's really hard not to think.
I
So
understand.
I just wait. I have to wait. So I can't just, like, my husband will say, "Oh, why don't you go write in your book?" It's not that easy.
I understand. Yeah.
I need hours to decompress, to clear, and get into a higher vibration, and then it starts trickling in.
It seems. Would you say it's more like a? It's just different states. Does it seem like you're just in a different state?
Yes, I
Yeah.
actually forget I'm at the grocery store. I have
Exactly.
no awareness of I'm in the grocery store. And the manager, he knows me. He knows I'm an author, and he knows I'm there writing. And how it started was I was bringing my neighbor grocery shopping. She's 96. So
Yeah.
and she takes 3 hours. So, because she shops for the whole month. So I was leaving and going and doing errands, and then I'd come back and she wasn't ready yet. And so at first I was like, you know what? This is a great opportunity just to sit and write while she's shopping.
Yeah.
So once a month, she's shopping and I'm writing. So that's how it started. I didn't just go to the grocery store.
I thought that was a rather strange place to choose for solitude. I just wanted to say that. But if it was working for you, I was going to leave it alone.
Yeah.
Oh, all right. So how long ago was the book completed?
So it came out January of 2020. Right when
very
COVID,
timely.
yeah.
All right.
COVID was here, and so it was a little difficult to market the book in person. So that forced me to get on Facebook. I resisted. I resisted Facebook and technology.
Oh, Sandy, who does that sound like?
Yeah, it sounds like you.
Really?
So I put in the screen Amazon picture of Cracked Wide Open, the book. You can see it, Barbara and Berger. And I also put a link in our chat if you would like to purchase the book.
Great.
But Barb's going to be writing a new book too. So that's going to be on here. As soon as we get it, we'll be putting it on there. But yes, both of you both resist technology. Like, I don't know why I attract people like that into my life, but whatever.
Well,
funny. Well,
so Barb, I'm really curious. See, I'm really, really curious about, so you got prompted, you actually had the ability to harness that. And I'm guessing, without getting into anything personal, there was part of you that was cracked wide open. You were in some level of pain that made you vulnerable and willing to act on this. Would you say that would be a clear assessment of how it started?
Yes,
no?
definitely, Tammy. It is. I think a lot of us have that. This is sort of what I wanted to tap into with the book. I wanted to touch that little hole in. I think a lot of us that needs to be filled. And I was looking for it. I didn't know what would fill it. I used to drink, I used to smoke. I did some drugs. So I always tried to fill that little hole. And so I really think that my grandmother told me how to fill it. And it has been filled these last couple of years. And other things have come off the book for me. And if I never wrote, if I never listened to that truck, if I never tapped into that truck messaging me through my grandmother through that truck, I don't think I would be doing a lot of things I'm doing today.
So that's why I want to go to that, because the reason why it's important for me to even make myself willing to do this is to inspire more of the masses that could just stumble across this, like we were discussing prior to the show, and invite them to compare themselves in. Have you had this moment, where you just hear a voice and you weren't just thinking it?
Mm-hmm.
Like, where did that come from? We've all had it.
Mm-hmm.
But to be present and maybe trust taking that leap of faith, and just like, what harm would have come to you for picking up a pen? Like,
Right.
what terrible thing could have happened? You might have never done anything with it. You might have never written anything. But more importantly, sometime later, what has your experience of life been as a result of being willing to be
Mm-hmm.
vulnerable, cracked wide open, and share on whatever level that experience with other people? Subsequently, how did that change your life?
Right. Well, what happened when I was writing? I'm sort of analytical. I have an analytical side to my brain.
Mm-hmm.
So what kind of stops me from doing a lot of things is that the thinking brain trips me up a lot, and sometimes I just don't do it because I think of all the details and how am I going to get that and how am I going to do that? I don't have the money for that. So I really, when I wrote that first intro, that you don't think, just go with the flow of this.
Mm-hmm.
And I just had to trust that everything was going to work out. The editing, the publishing, all that stuff, the money. I always worry about the money. How am I going to get the money to do this? So, and I think a lot of people want to write books, but they think it costs a lot of money.
Yeah.
And I wrote this book with zero money.
Wow.
I self-published it. And I learned how to do it by reaching out to other people, which is not really my forte.
Mm-hmm.
I'm sort of like, I don't reach out to others that much to help me because I'm the helper.
Isn't that interesting? So this called you to step
I had
outside
to
of
reach
your
out.
comfort zone. I love it.
Yes.
Yep. Mm-hmm.
Yes. So all these synchronicities started happening to help me complete this mission of writing this book. And in the weirdest ways, like I teach a stretch class, and one of the ladies in the stretch class, I mentioned to my class that I'm writing a book, and she said, really, like kind of, half-heartedly, like, oh, I was an English teacher in my career. If you need an editor, just let me know.
Oh,
Well,
gosh.
I banked that. I'm like,
Good to
So
know.
3 years later, took me 3 years. I said, hey, remember
What
this?
did she say when you said that to her?
She said, I absolutely would be honored to do it.
Oh, that's so wonderful.
Yep. So,
Yeah.
so that was just so great. But if I hadn't had, kind of, and I don't announce a lot of things that I'm doing because, I was taught to kind of keep small and don't brag and so getting out of my own way and sharing that, this is an example of what I'm doing that is great. And hey, this is what I'm doing. And that's vulnerable for me.
And it's fun and it feels good, and it might be beneficial and helpful to you if you try to just look at it this way. I think there's a lot of people, I think, especially right now, due to the circumstances that have transpired in the past, year and a half or so, that are coming out of the woodwork, like looking for something different. They don't even know, like
Right.
something, right?
That was me. Yeah.
And I think it's wonderful that you, and now I have another question for you.
Mm-hmm.
So I know I kind of just live my life like, oh, it will just all unfold, however, and just trust and don't tell the universe how to bring it to you. You narrow the scope and blah, blah, blah. And most of the time, people around me like think I'm crazy, like they're like, you really need to make better plans. I'm like, no. But miraculously, things always do work out, and the
Yeah.
right person just always shows up at the right time.
Mm-hmm.
And I think it's really nice how you shared that, because I think if other people can hear that and even a little bit trust that process,
Yeah.
at the end of writing that book, do you feel lighter? I'm curious about that. Like, your hope is it helps people, but even if it didn't, did it help you?
Yeah. I don't know about feeling lighter because I gained weight. During the COVID, I'm like 15 pounds heavier, but that's fine. You know what? Finishing the book, it was like birthing a baby.
Mm-hmm.
And the whole process of really, massaging this idea and having my grandmothers right there with me the whole time, guiding me, and then actually having it in a concrete form really was like, to me, having a baby.
Yeah.
And that's significant for me because I don't have kids.
Oh, wow.
Yeah,
Yeah.
so that it
It's a
was.
it's a physical birth of your creation.
Yes.
Yeah. Isn't that beautiful?
Yep.
Mm.
So let's see. So the synchronicities after the editing, then
Uh-huh.
I was like, how am I going to publish this thing? And I was researching and everything. I said to my husband, I was crying, I don't know how I'm going to do this. And he goes, you don't really need to publish it, Barb. You did it. And I'm like, what? What? I am going to publish this thing.
I can hear your husband saying that too.
You did it. Like, what? I said, no, I'm publishing it. I don't know how, but it's going to be published. And that just gave me that, like, okay. So I'm very smart. So I went onto the internet, Kindle Direct Publishing tells you step by step what to do. I'm like, I printed that out, and then I had no clue what they were talking about. Technologically, like on the computer.
Yeah.
Like margins. I don't know anything about margins.
So then what happened?
Yeah, all that stuff. So I just had to put it aside. All the directions, I just put it down, and okay. So then I'm in an organization. I think Reverend Raven is in the same organization. Yes,
I am. St. Pete Time Bank.
The Time Bank of St. Petersburg. It's a time exchange bank.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And I just needed to escape what I was doing. I went to the time bank just to see what people were offering. And guess what? The first thing I saw was a woman advertising that she was a Microsoft whiz. And does anyone need help publishing, editing? Exactly what I needed.
Isn't that fabulous?
I just pressed that button. I'm like, yes.
Yes. Thank you.
And she got right back to me. She's like, let's meet at McDonald's. Bring all your stuff. Okay. So we met, and this woman, I mean, she's amazing. She is an engineer from MIT, and
Excellent.
she is known as the engineer who writes. And I mean, this she writes for all these publications, and I'm like, what am I doing with this woman? Like, she was a brain.
There's a lot of great people in the even the lady that created the St. Petersburg Time Bank is amazing and marvelous and wonderful. I can't tell you how lucky we are in this community to even have that. And you can just reach out to them and ask them for anything, and asking you will receive right there.
Yes, exactly. And that was a kind of lesson for me. And to ask for help. And say, yes, I need you. So this woman just could tell I didn't have a clue on how to do anything on the computer. So she said, very kindly, she said, Barb, would you mind if I just took your whole file home and these directions and just it was formatting and formatted the whole book for you, I'm like, I wouldn't mind at all.
Not at all, sweetie. Please.
Yes, that would be fine. So I gave her my whole thing, and so, I came home very light, like Tammy says, I was very light. And so my husband's always involved with it. He's like, well, I said, oh, she's going to do the whole thing for me. And I had just said, like the night before, I said, I just wish someone would just pop down in my life and just take this and do it for me. And seriously, that just happened. And he's like,
amazing.
Yeah, he's like, that's incredible. I said, I know. And he goes, do you trust her? I'm like, yes, I do.
Exactly.
I trust her.
Yeah, yes, and I trust that I called this forth also. And
Yes.
Yay.
Yeah. So she did the whole thing. And she submitted it, and it got accepted right away.
Oh, wow.
And I was off. Yeah.
So off to what? What did you wrote another book?
Well, I'm writing another book right now. So it's a sequel. So everybody that reads my book says, what happened with Mel? Like, what happens to her? Because there's a lot of juicy stuff that happens, and people want to know. Like, and so I am writing a sequel, and it just continues the story. And I'm on the 7th chapter right now. So and tomorrow I'm going to the grocery store. Sandy visited me there once.
Yes, I actually hooked up. I said, where are you right now? She goes, I'm at the grocery store. I'll be there in 5 minutes. Emergency, need you now. I would trace her down and find her and everything. And it's really neat how Barb and I met.
How was that?
Over a book, a class at the Unity Church. They were doing what was that? The circle
by what's her name? She's an intuitive. Laura Day.
Right.
Laura Day.
And we studied her book.
Yep. And it was manifesting.
Yes, it was on manifesting. And you were manifesting becoming an author.
Yes. I wrote that in that circle.
Yes, you did.
And that was before this whole experience of getting that message.
That's right. And there was a group of us girls that through that whole year after the thing we stayed together for a whole year, uplifting and supporting one another. Yeah. So it was really.
So when was this?
It was about 2018, I'd say. Or maybe before.
I think it was like 2016 or 17.
Sandy, I'm just curious. What did you write?
To start the radio show back up because it had gone on hiatus, and I wanted a really successful radio program, but I want to own a radio station, actually. So
it is.
So it is. Yes. Okay. Yep. So just keep.
Everyone heard that.
We all heard it. Now it's going out to continue to vibrate for a long time.
Yes.
Yes, we're all vibrating.
Yes.
Oh, Sandy. So, all right. I feel bad. I have not read the book. So,
you just met me.
Can you tell me a little bit about our fictional character and some of the endeavors loosely that she encounters?
Okay. So she's a middle-aged woman, not very different than myself. She's about 55, and she's married.
Yeah.
No kids.
Okay.
And she is very satisfied with her life. She has a nice life, until this year of the book.
Uh-huh.
This was the year that really shook things up for her. And she was living in South Carolina, in a nice house by the beach, little bungalow by the beach, and a huge hurricane came rolling in and demolished their whole house and everything in it. And so therefore they had to evacuate and go up and live with her parents in upstate New York. So that was a challenge. So she lost her job, she lost her house. And then, I mean, I don't want to give too much of
No, don't get into all of that. I just meant like
the juicy part. So it's like, well, how it was arranged, and I had no idea this was going to be how it was going to be arranged. It's arranged through massages. So
isn't that interesting?
Yep. She has little awakenings during these full body massages. And I'm not a massage person. I don't really get massages. So where that came from, I have no idea.
I'm getting one tomorrow, and my ears perked up a lot when I just heard that. Like,
you need to read the book.
I'll be paying attention tomorrow.
So she's a very sensual person. Mel. Her name's Mel. And so these massages really awaken her.
Okay.
And so I wanted to have, I kind of wanted to have some sex in there, but I mean, I didn't really want to write it. So because I asked girlfriends, I said, what do you want to read about in a book, a novel? And they all said sex. And I'm like, really? And I'm like, I don't think anybody's getting much, because they all want to read about it. So you know what? I really took that, seriously.
Took it literally. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. So I was like, how am I going to write about sex and have my mom and dad read the book? So it just came through in massages, and it would spark her. And so she had this, the very first massage in the book is based on a massage that I got. And it was a Reiki massage. And this is before I was a Reiki practitioner. And this massage, I mean, I got out in my car afterward, and I used to smoke. And if I had smoked, I wanted a cigarette. It was
one heck of a massage, huh?
Oh my God. This guy was like breathing on me. But I mean, it wasn't sexual. It was sensual. It was sensual. And it was very energetic.
Yes.
Yeah. Have you ever gotten a Reiki massage?
No.
Get one.
I don't know. You just made me nervous.
I called my sister. I mean, I got home and called my sister.
You know I don't have a significant other. It could be dangerous, right?
So that kind of established the first massage in the book, because I was at the beginning of the book and not knowing what I was going to write. So I'm like, well, I want to write about that.
Okay.
And so,
I don't want to give your whole book away, though. So,
yeah.
But she keeps getting
massages.
I
think there's 5, and it kind of organized the book.
Now, is this just completely fictional and entertaining?
Yes.
Or does it have an internal takeaway on any level other than just release and entertain and let your imagination?
Well, it does have substance to it. It's not just entertainment. It does have substance. It sort of combines, so it combines sexual, our sexual beingness.
Did Jenny tell you to write about the sex? Did you consult Jenny on that?
No.
Oh, okay.
No.
What was that?
This is one of our
a little sidebar.
No, she's very
total side note.
She's very sexual person.
Yeah, she is.
Which is good. Which is good.
Yes.
Because we are created like this. So I feel like
It's raw creative energy. Yeah.
yeah. So I hadn't read a lot of books or things that combined God and sex. And I'm like, hey.
Yeah, we talk about God when we're having sex, right? Oh my God! Oh my God! Right?
Yes. Even my character, at one point, she was on a massage table and she was thinking of God. And she was actually having a conversation with God. And she was like, and then thinking about sex too. And she was really like trying to shut that off. But then she came to this awareness that, wait a minute, I'm created with this
Yeah. It's
sexual beingness of myself. He created this. So it's cool. and so that's kind of a theme there. And I don't know. It came through. I don't know. I don't talk about sex a lot.
It sounds very interesting.
Yeah, and I don't talk about sex, do I, Sandy?
No, God, that would be my alley, not yours.
I'm sort of conservative, but
yeah.
Yeah, so it's kind of interesting. And again, when I'd write, I even when I look at this book, I never really read the whole book through. So it's almost like I'm reading someone else. Like it's interesting. It's
Interesting.
It came from another source, but through me as the creative pen.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
So what do you
wait,
comfortable? Go ahead, Sandy.
Well, speaking of being intuitive and being a channel to let this creative and this art, I just want to really quick show people something else that you do intuitively. Yeah. Let me just bring up my screen here to share real quick. And I want to show them the artwork that you do. Okay, so let me just go in here and select the window and say allow, and then I'm going to go and pop these up here. So here's the first. This is another thing where you're just out of your head, right?
Out of my head,
open,
trusting the process of the paint. So this one is at nighttime, and it's by candlelight. And an image shows up that I didn't see in the daytime one. The daytime one is bright, and I see a woman over a man, and then another woman behind him. But I didn't see the little guardian on the right side until I saw it at night. And
wow,
it's hard to see it so small here, but I don't know if you can see it. And also, I see the hand of God reaching down on the right side. It's a purple hand, and it's so clear to me.
Right
there. Do you have that? Yeah, that's the guardian's face.
Right there. And there's a face right here.
Yes, that's me. That I would say that is me. I feel
and there's somebody right here.
Yes. There's a lot of people there.
Yes, there's somebody right there.
Yep. There's a lot of people. And so the guardian, the guard, I call him a guard in the purple.
Uh-huh.
Do you see the purple hand passing him down?
Is that right here?
Nope, it's on the outer. I can't see it on this one. I can see it on the brighter one.
Yeah, okay, let me see if I have it. Did you send me the other one? Right here. There we go, right there.
There we go.
Okay. So yes, the purple hand right there.
Yes. That was very holy to me when I saw that hand. And at nighttime, the guard really stands out, the purple guardian.
Right, yes.
And so I just was so, thrilled that I was being sent this picture of a guard for me. And so this is sort of in the book too. My character has guardian angels that come to her. And I just was so thankful that I say God. Some, maybe someone says higher power, universal creator. But for me, this purple hand is definitely the hand of God passing me this guardian. And I was just so happy. So I put it up on my wall. I have it in my bedroom wall.
That's
It's
beautiful.
beautiful. It
Thank-
really is.
Absolutely
And what's this
beautiful.
piece right here?
This is a bowling ball that had no purpose. And I just said, this little bowling ball needs some brightening up.
That's
And I paint anything.
excellent.
Yeah.
That's a cool use for a bowling ball.
Yeah. And this
About
is
all
another.
I would use it for.
Oh,
Is
this
that
is
a
another
bowling
bowling
ball?
ball. Yes.
That's another bowling ball that was so boring. Someone gave me these 2 bowling balls. They just, I don't know why they gave them to me. I think they thought I
That's a
could.
very cool repurpose and beautiful art.
Yeah, so this is a garden, little spirit with her red lips.
Oh, I like that.
Yeah, just
Did you
all.
name her?
No, I didn't. Not yet. I should though. I
She looks
should.
sassy.
Sassy girl.
She just looks a little sassy to me.
Sassy girl. Mm-hmm.
So
Little garden
so
diva.
when you're painting, or writing or anything, you clear your headspace and you just let source come through your crown chakra.
Yes.
And then do you feel it vibrating down to your root chakra, down into Mother Earth, or?
No, I don't feel
No?
any vibrating at all. I just feel real open.
Open, okay.
Yeah, I just feel when I'm in meditative state with anything creative, I'm just very open. I just feel like just things will come out.
So you're in the flow. You're just flowing and going.
Flowing and going. Yep. When I lead meditations, that's how it is too. Sometimes I'll come and the more I think, the more bogged down I get. I just have to open and let things flow. Yeah, just open heart, cracked wide open. When I wrote this book, I knew that book name came to me so fast because that's what I was. I was cracked wide open in that point of my life. And so I was like 53 when I started writing, and I made her 2 years older than me. Now I'm 2 years older than her. So there's themes in the book. There's like her sister, they find out that she's gay, and she gets a girlfriend. So that's sort of interesting. And her parent, so Mel D is her name. Mel's whole family is very passionate. So they all have their passions. One sister's a ballerina, one sister's a fitness guru, one sister's a real estate developer, her mother's an artist, her father's an arborist. So they all have these very, very passionate careers. And Mel's like, she's a waitress and she's very satisfied, and
she must have not been, because she went out looking for sex on the side.
She's looking for passion.
Right.
And so she realizes, and she says this through the book, that what she really loves to do, like she wants to just like, what do I love to do? What do I love to do? She's like, I love to relax. And she loves to relax. And so she always is on a hammock. And so she really wonders, what could I do with this? And so that has transformed my life as my new business. I have hammock healing.
So tell me about that. I was curious about that when I saw that. What are hammock healings?
So they are Reiki hammock healings. I came up with this idea because not unlike Mel, I love relaxing too. And I love swinging in my hammock. I always have. I've always had a hammock. And I always give myself self Reiki. And I was administering self Reiki one day, and it just popped into my head. I need to bring this to people. I need to bring this to people. It was during the height of the COVID. And I said, okay, I bought a portable hammock.
Hammock, yeah.
10 years ago.
Oh, wow.
Never used it. Never used it.
That's wonderful.
Put it in the attic. I wanted it for one of our trips, but we never used it.
I have to stop you right now. So as soon as you went and you put your hands on that, did you go, son of a, this is why I got this hammock and I didn't even know it until right now. Don't you love that? I love when that happens.
I knew. I said, I have a hammock. That's why I bought it. That is why.
So funny.
You don't see portable hammocks that, I mean, this is like.
No, they're not an everyday thing.
No. So so it was COVID. So, everyone was socially distanced. So I tied a cord on one of the bars 6 feet away. I measured it. My analytical brain measured that 6 feet away. So I told my husband, get on the hammock. See how this, see how this feels. And he's like, this is great. He's like, no one ever gets rocked in a hammock. I said, I know. And I said, I'm gonna start a business. He's like, yeah, right. Yes, I am.
And she did too. It's amazing.
That's interesting. Do people think that must have is it one that wraps around you, or is it a flatbed hammock? Do you know what I mean? There's some that wrap around you, like
it doesn't wrap around. No,
it's the flatbed.
It's flat. It's sort of like a hard canvas, but I put real thick cushions on it, and then a sheet, and then a nice white sheet, and then flowers in the end. So a little story about the sheet. So I'm coming up with this idea, and it's kind of crazy, but I said, if I would like to do it, I think other people would like to do it. So I said, I need to put a white sheet on it for sanitation and just that beautiful, like when you get a massage.
Crisp, clean, yeah.
Yeah. So I'm like, I went to the time bank and there they were. This woman was closing a spa and she was getting rid of all the twin size white cotton sheets.
Of course she was.
Yes. So I pressed on it. I will take 6 of them.
Thank you.
Yep.
That's amazing.
Yeah.
I love it.
Perfect size, everything. So the business, I mean, it's really not a business yet. it's It's in the mix. It's a love donation.
But have you been? So you've been practicing with it though, right? The Reiki.
Yes.
And what is the clientele's response been? What is the most common response you're hearing, or the top 3?
I've had so many people tell me they feel like a baby.
I was going to ask. That's why I was asking you about the banana. It's like being in the womb a little bit, right? That's exactly what I intuited when you said that.
Yes.
That's very interesting. That's why I was curious what kind it was, because that's how I was feeling. Isn't that neat?
Yeah.
So is that the most common thing you hear?
That's one of the most common themes, that they feel like they're being rocked in the womb or in the crib. And just the fact that they can totally relax, let go. They don't have to do anything. I don't do anything. I don't say anything. I stream Reiki from my seat, distance, and the music. There's music, Reiki music playing, and they just really do a bathing in nature with the oak trees and the magnolia trees, and there's a lake where we're doing it, and it's just amazing.
Sounds like a wonderful sound and movement
Yes.
bath. That's
This
nice.
came from the book.
Excellent.
Yeah.
Oh, I love it.
Yeah. I didn't think of it. It's sort of like, the art mimicking or life mimicking art. And she was always wondering how to bring this into a business. Yeah. Is that a cricket?
It sounds like a cicada in your yard, Tammy.
Oh, well, if it is, I'm really sorry. I can't hear
That's
it.
okay.
I have headsets on, so I can't hear them.
It's soothing.
Yes, it's very nice. I had her hammock healing done on myself.
Oh, fabulous. So what was it like, Sandy?
Oh my God. I felt lighter afterwards, energetic. I felt really great afterwards. I can't tell you inside, well, I don't know where my mind was while she was doing her magic or voodoo on me. But when I went home cause I had to go to work, I just felt so much lighter and I could deal with people because I get nasty calls all day long, right? It didn't faze me at all. I was like all on top of the world. I didn't care if you said I was a piece of whatever. You could have whatever you wanted to. I was fine that day. So
And
I
you
totally
slept
recommend.
well.
Yes, I did sleep well that night.
Yep. Everybody
Yes.
says they sleep so well after their Reiki healing.
Oh,
Their
yes.
hammock healing. Yeah.
Do you do any other one-on-one things with people besides Reiki? I was just curious.
No, not
Cooking.
yeah, not specifically. I've always known I'm a healer. I've always been light worker, healer.
So
I've always known
that whole womb thing,
Mm-hmm.
it just seems to me that there'd be a possibility of probably from that state of relaxation and feeling that way to more I'm just guessing it could be easier to get in touch with some childhood stuff.
Mm-hmm.
Like literally because instantly it just seemed like when you said that hammock, it went right to like a womb feeling, and like so many of us get very stuck with some false beliefs that we developed from back then. I just wonder if that might be a really wonderful vehicle to in the future help people with that kind of stuff by being in the hammock while doing the energy work and releasing that kind of stuff.
For me, it's really nice not to know.
Yeah.
What,
well, even if you release, because if you go back to childhood, it just seems like you'd be able to like, okay, if you're in that state, then maybe, I don't know, but you could more easily release if you're feeling a sense of the comfort of being young and but still in close proximity to where often a lot of us run into some levels of childhood or perceived childhood traumas,
That's true.
I don't know.
So. Yeah, I think for each person is different. So I really want it to be the experience they need without really having to do a
Oh, no, I completely agree. And people are going to have amazing ones. I'm just curious if in time you're going to notice people are coming into awareness of things after working with you because of that effect. I have no idea. But
I know what you mean.
Yeah, I'm curious if that's something that you're going to, if it will connect more easily for people. So it could just, like, oh, release that. So anyways.
No, that's true, Tammy, because a lot of times what happens is
what happens is later. Yeah.
Things pop out. And that is one of the things that Reiki does is it brings it up. And so it is able to get out. So yeah, I know what you mean.
Think it's lovely.
Thank you. It's lovely for me too, because it goes back and forth. The energy. And so, the healing is reciprocal. And it really is just passing love.
Oh yeah, it
Yep.
is.
It
Yes,
so
because
is.
when Barb and I, when she's working on me, like I feel this immense love that she has for me as a, as another spirit, and I'm giving it right back to her, and I know she feels it, and it's just this great. When we get around each other, there's just like this vibration like you don't get anywhere else.
Yes.
It's
Very holy.
incredible. Very
Yes.
holy.
Excellent.
Very holy.
Yay. Yay.
Yeah.
Sandy, do we have any questions or anything or no? I can't see anything on my screen tonight.
No, I've been
Okay.
watching.
Okay.
We don't have any questions. I told people to type in the chat room if they have any questions or anything like that. But no, we don't have any at the moment. So, Barb, when are you going to be putting out your next book? Do you think?
Well, I have some pressure from one of my readers that he wants it to it's a he.
Aw.
I know. He's going on vacation. I think it's August. And he really wants my book to be out. I'm like, ooh. So realistically, I hope to be done with it this year, like the end of this year. And just like the last book, maybe published in January. January is very
Excellent.
significant. Yeah.
New beginnings.
New beginnings. Fresh.
Yes, fresh, start all over.
Yeah.
That's the good thing. But we get to start all over every day we wake up.
That's true.
Right? The minute you wake up, it's a new day. It's a new life. You get to do whatever you want to do. It's just so exciting. So, for people out there that are thinking about writing a book, what would you say to them right now?
Right. Just right. Don't think about all the details of everything else. Just right. And really, I did get that advice. I was researching. I'm a fiend when it comes to research. I was researching everything, how to write a book, and I came to this very simple website, and he said, just write. That's it. Just get it all written, and then all the details will come. And that's what happened. And truly, I just wrote, and I wrote the whole book on my iPad.
Wow.
I didn't even have a computer. I pecked away at the iPad. And
That's wonderful.
Yeah.
Oh my God, I couldn't do that. Can you imagine typing on a screen? Oh no. No. Girl, get you a typewriter
Sandy,
or something.
it's all I ever use is my iPad. Leave me alone.
I mean, I'm on my laptop right now. It's so big. Like, I can't imagine bringing this to the grocery store. So yeah, just right. And you just don't know it's going to come out. And so you have to have a lot of patience, especially if you're
typing on an iPad.
Maybe if you're listening to this, maybe you're an automatic writer too. Like, I didn't know that I was that. And so, maybe you just have to wait and get into meditation and see what comes out. It's really fun, so I can't wait to go tomorrow. Like, I can't wait to see what I write.
I love that. When I saw your enthusiasm a few minutes ago and you're like, I get to go to the grocery store tomorrow, I was like, that's wonderful because you're passionate about it. You found your joy in it,
Yeah.
What do you think was the most wonderful aspect that you've got to realize after besides completing a book and all of that? Like, what did you get to realize about yourself? What was the most amazing thing you realized about yourself through the process?
Well, that I can get on technology and, I knew I needed to market it, and I didn't want it to just be dead. I just didn't want it to go away because of COVID and not being able to see people. And so to me, I was brave because I really didn't want to be on technology. I didn't want to be doing this either, like being seen.
Mm-hmm.
I'm, very sort of private. And so Facebook was a real,
Stretch for you, right?
real stretch.
Mm-hmm.
And I didn't want my real name out there. So my husband said, well, people go by aliases. And he says, well, let me ask you, what is your book about in one word?
Mm-hmm.
I was like, that's an interesting question. I was like, destiny. He says, you are now Barb Destiny. And
Oh.
it stuck. And so that is my personal Facebook page, Barb Destiny.
Mm-hmm.
And my author page is Barbara Ann Berger, which is my author name.
Mm-hmm.
So, it's been good, being out there and fun. I've had several interviews, like this, and
Mm-hmm.
book clubs that people from my past have reached out to me, knowing that I'm an author now, and wanted me on their book club, and so it's been an honor,
Yeah,
really.
it sounds
Yeah.
like you're getting a lot of adventure out of it too, which
Yes.
is lovely. That's
And it's
awesome.
it's so funny, Tammy and Reverend Raven. A lot of people where I work. So I work at a Major League Baseball stadium for the Tampa Bay Rays,
Okay.
and I work private suites in the club. And one of my customers from years, she's, I've known her because I've worked there 19 years. She bought my book. I didn't know she bought it. Someone told her. And I hadn't seen her because we've been, all last year, baseball didn't have fans.
Mm-hmm.
So we just reopened this year with fans. So I'm seeing everybody again. She came running up to me and said, I can't say it because it'll give a lot of,
Yeah.
but she said, why did,
Yeah.
she was so mad. I'm sorry.
I've got to read this book now, and I'm
Yeah.
not big on fiction, but you've got me interested. I'm gonna have to read it.
It's fiction, but it's
crossover.
It's real life. Yeah.
I'm gathering that. Yeah.
But she was
Excellent.
so mad at me. She said, why did I'm sorry. And my coworker was like, what is she talking about?
So that must have been interesting. So what was that like as all of that opened up within the circle of your colleagues at work and peers? Like, what was that like to walk through? I mean, seriously.
Yeah. So it is really weird well, first of all, to be Barb at work, who they've known for 19 years.
Yeah.
I was always the fun girl,
Mm-hmm.
I was always the unifier and the lead. I'm a leader. And to be now in the more healing
Mm-hmm.
Reiki world, and with my book. So yeah, my book has a lot of different concepts that I think they were like, wow. Oh, and my 96-year-old neighbor who is grocery shopping while I'm writing thinks I'm writing this nice little novel. And I gave her the book.
Oh no, she read it. So what were her thoughts on it?
She just was like, it's different. It's very different.
Do you feel like kind of liberated though to like,
Yes.
yeah,
That's
to
a
be
good
able
way
to
to
be
put
so
it.
authentic and be yourself? And
Yes.
I would imagine when I was thinking about you being, working at the stadium and having colleagues that you've been around for so many years, and then it coming out like that told me you didn't just go publicize, hey guys, everybody here's a copy, right?
Yeah.
So I just was like, wow, was that just like banana peels of your skin slowly coming off and you emerging out of that? Like, oh,
Totally.
this is my total me.
Totally.
Yeah.
And some people, that they're like, you wrote a book? Like,
Yeah.
yes, I did. Like, wow. Like they have a hard time like conceptualizing like, wow, like how did you do that? Yeah, it's weird, but liberating.
So let me ask you this. Would you even consider turning the clock back, though, to having not written the book?
Never, never,
High
never.
five.
Yeah. Have you written a book, Tammy?
No, 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 no. I haven't. As a matter of fact, it's funny because it's been over 20 years. It's a joke that's part of my little story of my life that Spirit's been telling me I'm supposed to write for like over 20 years. And I think like 6 or 7 years ago, I got so frustrated because it'll just come in what feels like bodies of energy where I just get bombarded with it for like weeks. And I'm like, okay. Well, what do I write? I don't know. Right. So I finally said, I got real aggravated a few years ago. And I said, fine, if you want me to write a book, here it is. I typed up a title and I put my name on it. And I said, as soon as you tell me what to write, I'll be happy to do so. But I don't know why that's reoccurring. If there's ever supposed to be some book, then it will come. I don't know what it is, and I don't really feel stuck, nor do I sit around trying to write it anymore. It doesn't haunt me like it used to. It used to really haunt me, but it doesn't anymore. But I just think it's interesting. I know in so many aspects, though, like just being more my authentic self about said things in mixed company is kind of, it's a very vulnerable thing to do. Like I'm self-employed, right? So my clients don't know certain aspects of me, and I've noticed through the years I share a little bit more, but I feel empowered by doing so. I'm being more my authentic self. I just was curious how you were experiencing that. But sometimes it can be very unnerving. You know, it's all great in your close little circles, you know, but I really think that's why it's so important to be able to produce some kind of material via these programs and stuff that just the masses, it can relate to them because it's all spiritual.
Yes.
We're all having this experience.
It's all
and
spiritual.
when you start paying attention to things, sometimes it can seem like you're really alone, and you're breaking out of certain constructs as you become more aware of things. And it's just nice to be able to hear other people and what their experience is. And it'll be a little different for everyone, but there'll also be similarities where we all experience these things on some levels. You know?
Yes.
So
I totally relate to everything you just said.
Yeah. And once upon a time, we heard something somewhere that was like, oh, that was helpful. You know, another little thing to put in the toolbox. And how wonderful is it to be able to join the collective toolbox for humanity, because that's like what I see stuff like this being. So
yes, that is so true. So one of the themes throughout this book is oneness and connectedness. And since like really formulating this into a form, a book, it's really helped me I don't know what the word is, really identify all the oneness around. And it's sort of like the book brought it all in form, if you will. So I'm not good at explaining things, if you will.
Yeah.
I'm not an auditor.
I understand.
Yeah, but I know it, like it's all there. I'm more of I can't explain it.
You download, you get it, you implement, but to articulate and explain and teach it could probably, I'm guessing, be a little challenging.
Yes.
And you were able to do that through your book.
Through the story.
That is freaking fabulous. I love it.
Thank you.
That is so beautiful too, to be able to express that way. I have a lot of challenges myself trying to articulate and explain things
I would never know that
I just like come into understanding of. And it's like, I don't know how to explain that. Like, or I don't, but I always admire when other people have that ability to be able to do that. I'm like, oh yeah, that's
That's it.
wonderful.
Yeah,
That
that's what.
made that make sense to me.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
So yeah, and it takes us all. You know.
Yeah.
Oh, I've had such an enjoyable evening with you tonight.
Oh, I
Yay.
feel so honored to be on your show. Thank you.
Oh, Sand, where
Where
are
you,
you at? Why are you
I don't
honored?
I don't understand why you're saying, we're thinking right now because we got 20 more minutes and I was going to ask Barb if she wouldn't mind. I love her meditations. She does
Oh,
amazing
oh,
meditations.
oh, good.
And
Let's.
and I was wondering if I could talk her into doing one because I don't know if you guys noticed the past week, the energy has just been all over the place, right?
Heavy.
Uh, yes, heavy. Things have been coming up in everybody, not just me, not just Barb down the street or Tammy up in Virginia. I think everybody listening has been having issues lately. you
Yes.
know there's been a heavy dense energy that we've had to walk through, and a couple of planets went retrograde.
Mm,
uh,
Yeah, and
no wonder.
Wednesday we have a really powerful Sagittarius full moon lunar eclipse.
Perfect.
So it's like, it's the full moon on steroids, and we're vamping up to the, in addition, but there's that going on in the background, so to speak.
Yes, let's do a meditation to really help everybody out there. So, wherever you are, just claim your space. Really claim it as yours. This is a holy, holy place where we are right now. Take a few nice deep breaths. And think about the fact that we were sent here. We were sent here to Earth. We don't need to worry about our purpose, about finding our passion. We are here. This is our purpose. So we are standing or sitting right in between heaven and earth, grounding our feet to the earth, really feeling Mother Earth's energy, and really grateful for our place here. We were sent here. That is an honor. Thank you. And also realizing we are connected up through the heavens. So we are a conduit down to the earth, up to the heavens. And we radiate this powerful, powerful connection. And we feel that connection. We feel grounded, but yet we feel our soul ready to soar at the same time. Stop thinking. Stop that thinking mind and just be this beautiful person right in between heaven and earth. Wow. Very holy place to be. We are grateful for our place here. Very grateful for this connection. We're like little light bulbs plugging into the earth's energy right now. Oh, plugging, 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 feeling that energy coming up. And also, our light shines so bright when we realize our connection to the divine. So we may feel the top of our heads tingle, opening our crown chakra, to that divine connection. Wow. Glowing, vibrating, tingling. It's that energy, that aura that comes all around us when we are aware of this connection. Connection to earth, connection to the divine. And we were sent here to be a unifier. We were sent here to shine our light and help humanity. And our presence is all we need. We just need to be present in this divine state of grace. And when we're in this divine state of grace, we have no fear, no worries, no angst. Our pain just seems to melt away. And we just enjoy being here in this holy, holy place. Our vibrations are high right now. We can feel it. We can feel ourselves vibrating on a higher plane. Just softly breathing. Realizing your power. Really realizing our power together as a collective. The crickets. Breathing with the crickets. Nighttime upon us. Getting ready for rest. Recharging. Just like the crickets. So very slowly bringing your awareness back to your chair, coming back to your body, being grateful for all we have. You can slowly open your eyes. That was wonderful.
Oh, I did. I felt the energy, everything. It was just awesome. I love it.
I love meditating with people. It is
It's like getting high on a marijuana cigarette. It's what it's like.
It is.
What are you shaking your head for,
Sandy,
Tammy?
I swear to God, you're not happy unless you have me blushing every single show. You do not feel as though the show is complete unless you completely get me flush.
I love it. I totally love it. So, I mean, wow. Yes, I love making you blush, Tammy. It is the thrill of my life.
I think it's not fair. You get me. But anyways. That was so nice, Barb. Thank you.
You're welcome.
That felt fabulous. That was beautiful.
Thank you. I just love to go to meditation without thinking what I'm going to say.
That's the best ones.
Yes.
They're real. They're authentic. And you let spirit just talk through you, which is amazing. Because I felt that was divine intervention talking to me and vibrating tonight because, you know, of all that's going on with this heavy energy. And I do feel lighter now. Like I could just like, I feel lighter. Do you feel lighter, Tammy?
I feel comfy.
Yeah.
Yeah, it feels really good. It's a comfy, loving, you're supported, and I feel like I can do anything right now in this very moment.
Great.
Oh,
I know, right? The thing is today in driving by myself
yeah.
and really thinking, that's a meditation in yourself when you're driving by yourself.
Mhm.
And we got a comment. Thank you, Dennis. He says, "Great show, ladies." Uh,
Thanks,
so,
Dennis.
Thanks,
so
Dennis.
there's something about driving, long distances, and you get out of your head because you're focused on the road, right? And
Yes.
everything else has just gone out the door. And I was just thinking to myself, we're the only people that put limitations on ourselves. You know what I mean? Like, if you just step out of yourself and let go, you can do anything that you want to do.
That is so true, Sandy.
It just hit me today. Like, I've been doing these limited beliefs that have been put into my system all these years are keeping me, these stupid beliefs. We really don't need any beliefs, do we? No,
Not
No.
really.
not, no, we don't.
We don't need to think.
We don't need to think. We just need to be in action, right?
Just drive.
Just drive.
Mhm.
It was just amazing.
Flow,
And
baby.
flow.
Flow.
And then the emotions that come out when you're driving too. Like, I was laughing and crying the next minute. I mean, it was just crazy. And I don't like doing crying. I'm not a crybaby, but boy, when it comes out, it comes out.
Wow.
It's crazy.
So I have a chapter in the book called Drive It.
Oh
And
no.
Drive it.
Drive It. And it was just drive, Mel. Foot on gas pedal. Hands are at 10 and 2. Speed of the truck is traveling 70 miles an hour. I'm good. I can do this. Big girl pants are on. My family is anxiously awaiting for me in New York. So it was one of her hard things that she had to do to go home. But she talks about driving. So it's really interesting that we're concluding with this. Driving, Sandy.
Yes, I mean, and here's another thing. I really haven't had much sleep in the past 48 hours. The first night I had 2.5 hours before I got on the road at 4 a.m. And then I got up there and I took a 30-minute power nap. And then I was packing and then driving back down here today and I had to unload. So, but I had this energy, like there's energy in driving itself. You get this energy.
Yeah.
For somebody that hasn't had that much sleep, I had like 5 hours last night because we stopped in Valdosta, Georgia, and got the only hotel room that was $200 last night to sleep for 5 hours, but it was totally worth it. Because I needed to sleep. I was going crazy. So, but I mean, it was amazing though, doing the sleep thing and getting back out there. And just, it was just, I love this day. It was a whole crazy day, but the driving was beautiful.
Yes.
It was.
Well,
and
driving is meditative.
yes. And then I got to meet Jill's mother today, who just lost her daughter 3 months ago.
Oh.
And she saw the tears that I had in my eyes from driving, from thinking about, people that I've lost and stuff over the years. And she came up and hugged me and she's like, "It's going to be okay." And I should have been comforting her.
Aww.
But this beautiful soul who saw the tears that were coming down my eyes when I pulled up, who came and gave me, I don't know her grief. Losing a child to me has got to be the worst grief anybody can experience in life, right?
Right.
But this beautiful soul came up to me, and then there was an exchange of energy today.
Well, it helps her to console.
Yes.
the reciprocity of
Of
the
energy,
caring.
yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So, I mean, today, I mean, it was hard, but it was so beautiful too, and such growth, and I love that I get to share this too with you too, because both of you play a big part in my life. You,
Oh,
you know, you both were there when I lost somebody last year, and you've been very supportive. And every time, everything I ask of you two, you guys are always supportive and you're there. So I'm glad you guys get to meet.
I know. That's
Right?
true.
And you're very similar in your backgrounds. You guys should really chat and connect on your own, because you're gonna
That
like
must
go,
mean
oh
we
my
drive.
God.
Yeah.
I wonder if that means we both drive her crazy the same way.
No, you don't drive me crazy. Neither way. You're both amazing, but you really do need to connect on your own, because you guys have some similar backgrounds and things like that. So you really should do that.
Nice.
I look forward to it. I'll be in Florida next month. I would love to meet you.
Where are you going?
Sandy's place.
Oh, I will
We're-
meet you.
Yes, we're
That
doing
would
the
be
Mind Body Expo over at Tampa Fairgrounds next month, and Tammy and I are both speaking. Well, I'm going to actually put Tammy up to speaking. She's so pretty and everything. We're just going to put
Great.
her little pretty butt up there, and she's going to talk.
Oh, that's
So
great.
we have a booth, and we're going to be doing the bioimaging camera there, and we're going to show people their energy and show how, you know, what's that for?
I know. I'm so sorry. So I can't help it. I went to I went to do some regression work today, and I went to a new facility that was a what is it? A co-share workspace or okay. It was all wellness, right? There was, you could get sound baths, you could do regression, all different. There was only one thing that stuck out as odd to me, and it was Botox. It just somehow didn't feel like it fit in, but I obviously am wrong. Somehow it does. So anyways, the reason I just got so excited, Sandy, was I'm going to set the bio field camera up there, and all the practitioners, I'm going to give a couple of Saturdays to get before and after whatever their modalities are of people's biofields. And I just got really excited about that. Wow. So I didn't mean to go, and that's what that was about.
Cool.
I just haven't got to talk to Sandy about it yet. So, Barbara, sorry I like honed in there for a minute, but
I would love to see like the before and after on the biofield.
The Reiki,
of the hammock healings.
Exactly.
We can do that. We can set that up for you and do that and stuff like that. And, you know, here's another business opportunity. What she just mentioned, a shared healing center where other people come in with their, you know, all their techniques together in one place.
That's what this place
we
was.
Don't have that.
This was amazing, Sandy. I can't wait to tell you more about it and share some information about it, because there needs to be these places going up all over the place. Like they had all these meeting rooms. You could have an individual room that's just dedicated to you, right? Like it's yours. Or you can have co-op common areas, and you can schedule times in private rooms. Like, so let's just say, like, the person I was with today did regression work, right? Well, I might have been her only appointment today. She might have just needed 2 hours in a room. And the place was amazing. The energy was great. It was really, really, really amazing. So I just see it as this beautiful win-win for everybody. And I love that this is becoming a thing. 20 years ago, you could have never walked into a building like this today. I was blown away, and I live in this world. I was like, this is freaking amazing. I want to see these all over the world. You know,
we're shifting.
Yeah, we're definitely shifting. And I was just like, this is so amazing. I was sitting there with Carol going, you know, 50 years from now, we talk about all the time, you hear often that we're on the cutting edge, right? Well, we are, because 50 years from now, it's going to be the norm for families to go for their mental, emotional, and spiritual well-being in these places. Maybe not all of the world, but it'll be a very normal construct. And I'm sitting in one of these buildings that's brand new, and this is not even been done, but like it's going to happen, and it's amazing. Like 50 years from now, my grandchildren's children will be going to something like that.
It'll be normal.
That was never even heard of when their grandmother was 50.
Right.
And she was sitting in one of those going, this is amazing. You know, it's just amazing the time that we're living in right now. I think it's spectacular. I mean, it's like, wow, look at all the stuff that's happened in just 100 years. Like 100 years. If you just look at the last 100 years, it's like, are you freaking kidding me? It's a lot. So anyways.
It is amazing. So Barb, I posted in here how people can find your Facebook page, The Author. You have to send her a friend request if you want Barb Destiny to be your friend.
I just realized I spelled destiny wrong.
I know, I saw that too, but who cares? It doesn't matter. We know. Also, be on the lookout for Barb's new book coming up next January. You know, we're going to set that intention. It's going to be done in January. Oh, yeah.
We'll have you on again.
Great.
We'll watch that book.
Yes, and go to Amazon to purchase her current book because it is worth reading. I've read it, and then I started reading, and then I had an incident when somebody died on me, and I haven't gotten back to it yet, but I will.
Oh, thank you, Sandy. Thank you.
So I want to thank you so much for being on the show tonight. Is there anything else? We ran over, but is there anything else you'd like to share before we get off of here this evening?
Just want to say I love you. I love you, Tammy.
Oh,
I just a lot of love.
Yes.
Oh, love you too.
Yeah.
All right. Well, we're going to close out the show. I want to thank everybody so much for joining us. We're going to be back here next Saturday. We don't know who the guest is.
Tom's coming.
Oh,
we just don't know if he doesn't know if he's going to be in Nag's Head, if we can figure out how to get him up and running in Nag's Head, or if he's going to have to stay here.
Okay. Well, we got Tom Coates coming back on to share his life with us again. And I want to thank everybody so much. The week after that is Sandra Dawn. And I want to thank everybody for joining us every Saturday night at 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time right here on Facebook. And go like our YouTube channel, because the more people we like, we'll get a dedicated name on there. And I'm learning how to stream live to YouTube, but I didn't do it tonight. But I will post this on YouTube to share with everybody. Right. So, Barb, I love you.
Love you too.
I love you, Tammy.
Bye,
Good night, everybody.
I love you all. Thanks so much for joining us, and have a great night.
Good night.
Bye-bye.